We're live, but it's going to take a couple of minutes. I will tag the live, so you'll have it and he'll have it. It's not there yet. Yeah, you've been cutting it up.
Yeah, I'm practicing keeping my throat chakra active.
Yes.
Truth, standing in my power. And it's not about it's not without some resistance from people, but I don't care.
Well, there's something to be said for the feminine power, especially over the last few weeks. There's a lot of power being claimed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's not in any competition or just trying to be an opposing force. It's just, finally in this age, in this day and age, we have to be heard. Everybody's perspectives are important, and there's no point of fussing and arguing about it. Just accept it is what it is. Keep it moving. Everybody has something to say. There's 7.7 billion folks in this world. Everybody has something to say. So just accept it for what it is and keep it moving.
There you go. Stay in your own lane.
Yeah. Won't be no traffic.
There's no fender benders on the Soul Highway.
Period. Won't be no traffic. Where is Kaya?
There he is. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Here he comes. All right. His video's not on. Kaya, is your audio on? Here, let me send him a note. There are 4 icons. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, black and white.
He's coming in. We can see his phone and his headphones. Oh, what was that?
Hey.
Oh, here he comes. There's a round icon at the bottom beneath the screen. If you click that, you can choose your video input. Here he comes.
The connection's really bad.
Oh, it is?
It's terrible.
That normally means we're going to have a great show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you can't see? Okay. How do
We can see something.
Well, I think your camera's turned the wrong way.
No. Well, I don't know how to flip it.
Is it a phone?
No, it's an iPad.
There should be like a little camera with a circle thing.
I'm not seeing.
Or you could just turn it around, I guess.
But then I can't see you.
It's a circle with the camera on there. It should be under.
Circle. I see that.
And then the settings.
I see it.
Here he comes.
I pressed.
Oh, he did something. No, it's on.
It's on. Input button too for settings.
Yeah, he had it on. It's just his camera's turned the wrong way.
Yeah.
Well, he can be.
iPad, it'll give you an option for front or back camera.
He probably did it on purpose so he'll be anonymous for this provocative conversation.
No face, no case.
Devices. Yeah, this is gonna piss me off. I'm gonna switch devices real quickly. Give me.
That's cool. We're good.
Seconds.
Yeah, we're good. No rush.
Okay.
How's it been in Arkansas?
Man, I 6 weeks. Well, it's probably more. I don't want to exaggerate. Probably 5 weeks. Approaching 5 weeks. I haven't slept through the night.
Oh wow.
I'm up until 4 till 7 in the morning. Last night I went to bed. I tried to go to bed early, and I think it was 6:30 by the time I probably fell asleep. I was up at 10.
Mm-hmm.
Doing shows. It's all day long.
Yeah.
I've been juicing. for about that same period of time.
You've been juicing?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm juicing. I'm drinking at least 2 of these a day.
That's good.
It's about 80% greens and the rest fruits.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been
Y'all
doing
finna
some.
y'all finna get real sexy over there.
Yeah. Yeah,
I was
yeah.
220 pounds at the onset of the COVID, and then I started juicing.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I was 220. A solid 220.
Well, you're solid now. I mean, you know, you're not. God, that's amazing. I didn't know it was that short a period of time. You've been through a huge transformation.
Yep.
Physically and otherwise.
Physically and just everything. Just everything. And this year, galactically, is a 5-year, planetary 5-year, and my personal year is a 5-year. And 5 is a number that represents change.
Yeah.
Massive change. So I'm like, whew.
How do you determine your year, your personal year?
You just add up all of the numbers
On your birthday?
Yeah, with your birth year, and you break it down to the lowest common number.
All right. Hey, what's up, Kaya?
We are gathered here today.
Let's hear it.
His connection is kind of.
That's all right. It'll work. We just put some good energy on it.
I know that good stuff.
Here we go.
We're
gathered here today to push the envelope of sacred sexuality and all the new norms of the new earth.
Hey.
How'd you guys meet?
On this here blue app.
What's that?
On the blue app.
Yeah. On the blue app, yeah.
On the blue app.
Yeah, it was I don't know. I don't really send friend requests often.
Yeah.
And when I saw his picture, I was just drawn to it. And I was like, why not? You know, so I sent him a friend request. And he accepted. And then one day he inboxed me and he said, I'm still waiting for you to introduce yourself. And I was like, and I have nothing but time.
You told him that?
Yeah, I did.
You said I have nothing but time?
Yeah. We send friend requests, but we don't inbox people. We don't message you to introduce ourselves. We just kind of like let it be what it's going to be. But, you know, he's a little bit more formal, so he needed a formal introduction. So I gave him that work.
So, Kaya, what did you say to her when she said, I have nothing but time? That was a pretty funny remark.
Do you know what? I didn't actually hear the last probably 90 of what was
cool.
said. But
your signal,
but I'm guessing you're talking about the introduction, initial.
Yeah.
The initial.
Yes. His signal dropped again. I'm watching it.
Yeah. He usually has a really good signal.
It's all right. Everything's all right. So how did you guys, what's the name of your show?
Balls Deep.
What is that ticking noise? We got it again. This is galactic stuff coming in again.
I know. Every time we talking on here, it goes crazy.
Oh, this happened on several shows. Balls Deep is the name of the show. Who came up with the name?
Kaya mentioned it.
Yeah.
And on one of his live, he was introducing what we're going to be doing. He's like, yeah, y'all, we finna go balls deep, y'all. We finna go balls deep. And it just stuck. It just stuck. And
the general subject revolves around sacred sexuality, sex, intimacy, and I guess other things. But I mean, is that the main?
No, we talk about a plethora of things. We talk about the ascension journey. We talk about healing work.
Okay.
We
Okay.
talk about.
So it was my own program running that because of I attached it to a sexual connotation. No, I honestly, I think I tuned into one. It would have been the second or third one you did, and you guys were talking about sex, and it was a riot.
That's our main purpose, is to kind of bring light to the darkness and the dark places around sexuality, because what I know about emotions and suppressing emotions and suppressing our feelings and how we feel is that if we suppress it, it's going to show up, it's going to come out in a way that is not healthy. And, you know, religion has lent its frequency to suppressing people's sexual nature, people's sexual energy. And we want to just bring liberation to that, because we know when you are free sexually, you're more free spiritually. You're free in so many different areas of your life. And we don't want to have people just live in this life and feel like they have to be a certain way. We want them to learn to express themselves in every way. So that's
Right on.
what started it.
I think his signal's up again. It looks good.
Hey,
Yeah, that's a serious subject. What's happening? You're back. Right on.
there's a problem with the browser and the site.
What browser? What browser are you using?
Well, I've opened it up on Safari now, but
Yeah.
it seems to be glitching a little.
You
But,
coming in good though.
It says mobile device support is limited. Switch to a desktop computer for the best experience. But I don't have a desktop computer right now to do that. But you can hear me good, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes, you coming in well.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, just to run through it really quickly. I received a request from the beloved sister Shalom. When people send me requests on Facebook, I never really used to pay much attention to it, but now I like to kind of have like a filtration process. It makes sense.
Yeah.
There's not many friends on Facebook. You can only have like 5,000. So if I'm gonna have 5,000 people on my page, I want to know who they are, and I want to know why you're on my page. You know. So I sent her a message and I said, okay, are you gonna introduce yourself? Because I noticed that I accepted her friend request and she was sitting pretty in my friends, but she hadn't introduced herself. So yeah, that's when she let me know that she had all day. She had all day for it, So it was all good. It was all good. The rest is our story, Yeah, the rest is our story. So we just connected from there. That's how it's just happened organically. It's all natural. No, it's not been forced.
Yeah.
There's no script before we do the shows or anything like that. We just flow.
It's the only way to roll. That's how we roll here.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Definitely.
turn it on and start talking.
Yeah.
So how long was it from the point you met to the point you started the show?
Oh, it didn't take long.
No.
About a month.
Take long. Maybe a month.
A month, 6 weeks. 6 weeks max. Yeah, 6 weeks maximum.
We all have a really good banter on the show, no doubt. You're really good at it. I don't know how you can bring that in because you're on this show, but I'd highly encourage everybody to watch. I think it's on Thursday nights, Thursday night London.
No, Sundays.
Sundays. Was it on Thursday before?
Sundays.
Maybe somebody else is on Thursday. I don't know.
Sundays, but yeah, I feel like, we feel like when it comes to the topics that we address and the things that we discuss, these subjects seem to be things that people shy away from addressing. A lot of people aren't really comfortable with talking about certain things. So what we're trying to do is get rid of that whole taboo energy behind talking about sexuality and spirituality and the connection between the two. And then at the same time, there's been a lot of misinformation and miscommunication over the years. So we need to sort that shit out and put things straight. So that's why we're here, my brother.
Right on. So it's interesting. I mean, because so many of the things that we have in our experience, some of the aspects of our lives are represented by polarity. A lot of times, well, okay, I'll just be straight about it. If you look at sex, it's been our biggest shadow. It's been our biggest shame. It's been all the bullshit and all that. And then there's this other side, which some people might call sacred sexuality, where intimacy is sacred, as sacred as you can get in the flesh, gods and goddesses in the flesh. So it's an interesting proposition, and everybody's different. I went celibate for 5 years during the awakening process, but it's I mean, how do you do that? Does everyone have to go celibate to clear their system out? I was very active prior to that, over 50 years, but too active. Yeah.
Too active.
Yeah. That's few
hyperactive.
Hyperactive. Oh yeah. Like a kid in a but anyway, but like, how do you do that? I mean, how feasible and plausible is it for two people in this climate today? Granted, if they both been doing their work and they meet and in the vulnerability of physical intimacy, and we know that's more than physical. How I love what you said about one of you said about letting go. And I think of letting go. I know I let go in my first 50 years, but that wasn't the healthy letting go. That was something else. But being able to let go with your partner, that to me seems like very rare territory up till now. At least in terms of sustaining it in a relationship, But I don't know. What are y'all's thoughts? What do y'all think?
Shalom.
Well, I was going to say, on a show, we don't encourage people to just go out there and be freak nasties. We address this from the higher perspective. We really do, from the fifth dimensional perspective, and we caution people that when you do connect your energy sexually with another person, you are consenting to pulling in everything that they are. Their trauma, their pain, their issues. You're consenting to drawing that in. So we want people to understand that yes, you can have a sexual relationship with someone as well if you're not in a committed situation. But with the understanding and knowing that the energies that you are connecting to,
that's right.
If you want it to be a high vibrational situation, you have to look at it from a higher consciousness level. So if I was to connect to someone who I'm just physically attracted to, and there's nothing else, but I can express love to that person in a way that's sexual, not having any attachments to the situation, just expressing love in that way, guess what? I'm going to make sure first that person is of higher level of consciousness. Where I'm not absorbing their energies that are in their traumas and their woundings and stuff like that. So try the spirit by the spirit first, and then get busy if you want to. And there's no judgment. There's no judgment.
That's right.
There you go. With the whole celibacy, because you did touch on celibacy. I'll be real with you, Todd. What I am learning more and more each day is, obviously everyone has their individual experience when it comes to spirituality. And some people may have experienced certain things through practicing celibacy, which is fine. They may have achieved certain things, they may have suppressed certain things, so on and so forth. Cool. So those are the results that person got. So let's call that person Steve. So Steve got those results from being celibate and practicing certain things. But Simon tried to do the same shit, and it didn't work for Simon. You understand? Instead of being celibate, what Simon had to do was burn his desires out. So Simon needed to have threesomes, foursomes, moresomes, and all sorts of things for him to get to what he needed to get to. So everyone has their experience at the end of the day, and what you need to go through is relative to what you need to learn and where you are on your stage of development. You know, so I can't really say that one rule fits everybody, because one rule doesn't really fit everybody. But when it comes to certain things that are core, then yeah, these things
I
do fit.
I didn't know that about Simon. I guess I did both. And I don't. Yeah, I get it. Like I know a lot of couples
Yeah.
that are conscious, and I know enough and had talked to them enough. So some of them, like, it wasn't a planned deal. Like with Morgan and I. Morgan was celibate, I think almost 4 years. I was 5, but these were personal decisions we made on our own. It wasn't to become monkish. It was just like, hey, I'm not doing that again unless it's right.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know what right was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then in interacting with other couples and kind of following, there's a couple of schools of thought. One is, like one, you that's not the priority, and you basically get to a certain point in your connection, and then the other one is, it's kind of like they go into it right away. And I've seen some cases of that happening where things didn't work too well. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I just wonder, because I'm curious. I wonder how. I don't think I couldn't do it. I had to deprogram the performance. You know, like for instance, when you lay down with a woman, there's certain things that you do in a certain order. Not all the time, but there's kind of a standard operating procedure, and you start to look at that, and you start to see what's the point of, why am I doing this? Like, what's the point? You know what I mean? So I don't know that what my experience with sacred sexuality with Morgan has been, if you took a picture, it would look the same. If you took a video, it wouldn't be the same at all. And it took a lot of work. Yeah. I mean, a lot of work. But I'm just curious, because I think it's whatever's happening in all regards of our experience is being enhanced. Some things being enhanced in their distortion, and some things in their purity. And I think that sexual power is really, in my opinion, sexual power is our strongest physical attribute, or maybe it's a characteristic of our strongest power, which is, I guess, like imagination, you know, that type of thing.
But sexual energy and the power transcends the physical. It goes beyond, because we start to, you know, it's basically, when, do you know what it is? This is what a lot of people don't actually realize as well. That moment when you're climaxing, you are God. You are, literally, you are God in that instant, you know? And this is why when you go back to ancient Egypt, Kemet, Tamaray, however you want to name it, this is why we used to unk the energy around our bodies when it came to that point of climaxing.
I was going to ask you guys about that.
Oh, semen retention.
Sex magic.
There you go. Well, no, because I actually, people would say that, like, you know, you see different things. I've never done Tantra, but like put your tongue at the roof of your mouth, picture
doing it
the
right now.
energy going back in. And I've noticed that as I've progressed, when I have that happen, when I have an orgasm, I don't have to do anything. I noticed this a while back. It just it literally comes right back into my feet. Like, it's weird. And I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, it's a biological fact that when a man has an orgasm, he secretes melatonin, which makes you sleepy, right? And I don't feel that. I feel very energized. Not that it happens a lot,
energized.
but I'm just saying, as maybe that's part of the conversion of the organic body to the light body, to the crystalline body. I don't know, but it's something I noticed. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
you know, Todd, you know.
Yeah. Well, at 59 years old, you notice something like that. Let me just tell you.
Yeah. I experienced during my ascension journey, my higher self allowed me to experience Tantra with someone for the first time. And the individual who I was with has no memory of the experience because they were too drunk to even remember what happened. But it happened that way, and I'm okay with being transparent because I believe it helps people. Our experience help each other. So yeah, I'm with this person, and I wanted to test my power. I wanted to test my magic, and I asked him, "What is it that you want?" Because we need to be in alignment with what we desire so that we can manifest this. And so he said, I want abundance. I said, okay, great. We're in Vegas. I want abundance too. So of course we did what we did. And in the process, we actually, our physical and ethereal bodies merged, where I could not see myself outside of himself until my higher self allowed me to recognize what was going on and said, you are experiencing Tantra. And then when I consciously unleashed myself from that connection, and I was back in a place where we can see us separate as two separate people. So the next day, and because I'm thinking these thoughts of manifesting abundance, manifesting money in particular, while we were in Vegas, the next day we went to the casino and we won $2,000 in 20 minutes.
What happens in Vegas doesn't have to stay in Vegas anymore.
Stay in Vegas.
Little light workers. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. His consciousness level wasn't.
Well, but you know,
me, but
look,
it works.
I respect everybody's reality. I respect their power. I think it's a fascinating story because I know Vegas. I mean, I remember the last time I was in Vegas, I threw up. It was Morgan's first time. We were passing through. We're just going to stay one night. She wanted to see it, and I literally told her, I got to go upstairs. I'm going to throw up. I was anchoring something collectively or something. I don't know what was happening. But for you to be basically in a very dense environment and to be illuminated and to achieve that, that's not just a personal thing. That's a collective imprint.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was dope.
So
I said, when I get my husband, we gonna be manifesting.
But in those sort of settings and environments as well, you need to remember a lot of people have gone into the casino with an abundant mindset also. So
don't be
and we're all collectively
on my party. I manifested that.
No, I'm just saying. No, hear me out. So collectively, you know, when you've got people in that space as well who are also vibrating on that frequency, it makes it easier for you to with those people in the building, and then you know you kind of feed each other and shit. So yeah, you manifest, man. We be making shit happen.
Plus the power. I mean, the power of imagination.
Yeah.
You know, the power of this thing that served all of us individually. Now, like you said, and I agree with you, Shalom. I don't know that we have to be an open book 1,000%. I don't really have any filters, and I try to be careful. But the being open That's the highest level of code.
It is.
It is.
Because there's no owner's manual. Have you found one yet, Kaya? Did they give us an owner's manual?
I've never seen it, and I'm glad you mentioned the manual, because I always refer to a manual with parenting. You know, we're never born with a manual like, okay, when you're older, this is how you be a perfect parent. You know, at the end of the day, our children will always teach us how to be parents.
Yep.
So it's just the same sort of thing with life, really. You know, the situations that we go through, they teach us if we choose to learn from them. You know, that's it.
It's a good idea,
Shizzle.
especially now.
Yeah.
It
Because
is.
if you
And that's
don't
why we
learn,
aren't telepathic. Well, we are telepathic, but we can't tap into our telepathy. Is because we aren't 100% authentic and real with ourselves, and we can't be that way with each other. Telepathy is real, and the
Sure
moment
is.
we all elevate in consciousness, we won't ever have to tell each other anything, because we'll be able to do that stuff through our minds. We just ain't ready to open up.
that means everybody has to be okay with everybody knowing everything about you.
Yeah, and that should be
which
okay.
which should be fine, because we all got to show our ass, right?
Yeah.
That's right. But those who are operating from that space are able to connect with each other telepathically.
Yes.
And
True.
there's the proof in the pudding, you know? So the more people, because at the end of the day, we know everything on this planet is energy, vibration, and frequency. So when you're holding on to shame and these sorts of things, for example, your frequency is going to be in a certain space.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you do shake these limiting beliefs and all of these other things, what happens is you transcend all of that and you get to that space and you're on the same wavelength as the other open-minded people who don't give a fuck about other people and their opinions, you know? So you're able to tap in and out of the same part of the reservoir together and collectively share consciousness and information. So
That's
we
right.
move.
There's code in everything we talk about, everything, because it's regulated by the openness of it, right? The directness. Morgan got a download a few weeks ago, and it was, in context of what's happening, this awakening, even this past month, that dishonesty and distraction are the two things that hold up a person's transformation. It'll slow it down. And I thought, wow, that's pretty cool, because I like to operate on rules of the road, just simple little things to go by.
Yeah.
And I'm glad she shared that with me, because it's been pretty helpful. There's
It's
something
helped me definitely on my spiritual journey, just the openness and the need to not hide anything, because what is there that I need to be ashamed of about my life? What is there that I need to be ashamed of about who I am, sexually and everything? I'm gonna share this because, like I said, I love to heal myself through being transparent, and I love to be able to help other people heal themselves. I was having a pain in my abdomen for many, many years, and I didn't exactly know what it was from. And it was from a plethora of things, but I'm gonna speak on just one in particular. I had questions about my sexuality growing up. I didn't understand why I was attracted to women. My mom asked me, was I a lesbian? I didn't even know what a lesbian was when I was growing up. I was like, I don't even know what that is, right? And so after she asked me, did I like girls, because I was very tomboyish, I was just my mother's son. I was a tomboy, and I didn't know how to word I was going to express myself at that moment. But she triggered something in me, and it caused some confusion. That's what I would see as confusion. But like I was saying, I had this abdominal pain in my uterus, and I didn't understand where it was coming from. And every time I would, come on my womanly thing, I would have a really bad, sharp pain in this area. And it got better over time as I was healing my body, healing my emotion, and ascending. But it wasn't until I acknowledge that when I get a husband, I'll probably have a girlfriend too. that pain that I was feeling, because my body is in alignment with the full moon, so I'll always have my womanly thing happen on full moon. Full moon's tomorrow. I haven't had that pain since I
Really?
opened up, and I was open about, yeah, I want to experience a woman, and I've never experienced having a girlfriend and no shit like that. But I'm like, what? I can't be ashamed of trying. If I don't like it, I won't like it. But I'm going to allow myself at first, because I didn't allow myself to even go there. But I was like, shit, we ain't gonna hurt nobody. I ain't gonna die from doing it. So why not?
There's something to that. Yeah, there's something to that. Just really, that's that survey they did with at the hospice. For 5 years they asked people who were dying, like what do you wish you'd have done different? And the number one answer was, I wish I hadn't have made the choices I made, because I made the choices to please everybody or do what they thought was okay or I'm supposed to do.
People pleasing. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you're in Hawaii, 57, 58 years old, and you want to jump off a cliff into a pool of water, or you know what I mean? It's just, yeah. Because if you look at it from the higher perspective, what did we come here to do? We came here to be physical and experience it. Yeah. So, you can't knock anybody. And I think the only real rule of the road is stay in your own lane.
Yeah, mind your business.
Because if you stay in your own lane, nobody gets hurt, nobody gets raped, nobody gets infringed upon in any way whatsoever. I think we're getting there.
Yeah.
I think we're doing good.
We are getting there. And you know what? I've been reflecting at social media over the last week, and I think when there's subtle changes, we don't notice them. But when you reflect and you actually look at things now online, and you probably compare them to how things were about 2-3 years ago, there's been a major shift. Major shift. People are paying more attention to their health, fitness, diet. More people are meditating, yoga, psychedelics. All these sorts of things are being explored now. So it's pretty evident we're in the age of Aquarius. Yeah. So everything is shifting. Everything is shifting really nicely how it's supposed to be. So even your platform and platforms like it, they're just going to be growing and growing and growing and expanding. It's just going to be happening now because people are hungry. They want the truth.
It feels like it. Kaya, are you in London?
Yeah, I'm in London, West London.
Wow, I was so I think I did orgasm watching that. They came out, what, it was like 6 weeks ago, and they're like, we're imposing this new thing, and then the next day, everybody's just walking through the street like nothing's going on, and I'm thinking, holy shit,
two
this
million
is actually
people, yeah.
2 million people. You don't see anything about this in the mainstream media.
On the mainstream media, no, you don't.
But in London, is it? That's a lot of people, man. Is it like 50-50? Or is it? Are they being suppressed in any way? You could just see the energy of those people. They were just like total sovereignty. They weren't going to back down from nothing.
What I will say is this: England is the brain of the beast, and America is the belly.
Yeah.
So a lot of what we go through here is psychological.
And the Vatican's the asshole.
Yeah, we know. A lot of what we go through here is psychological, whereas in America you go through a lot of psychological warfare, but it's a lot of physical suppression and brutality and all of this stuff as well. Whereas that shit doesn't really happen that much in England. When it does happen, like for example, a few years ago, one of my cousins was killed by a police officer. The whole of England burnt. The whole place was on fire. Like literally, the whole place was on fire. There was rioting, there was looting, protests, everything. That literally. So the English people, we don't really. We're not really like the Americans, you know. Americans are kind of loud, and you know they're gonna tell you they'll do something before they do it. English people are really sly and sneaky and shit, you know. So they won't tell you that they're coming to kill you. They'll just come and kill you, you know, sort of thing. But whereas Americans will be like, "I'm gonna fuck you up. I'm gonna come shoot you, son."
Well, that's what they want you to think anyway.
Yeah.
So,
But that,
no, you're right.
Americans are vibe.
Yeah, you're right. No, the vibe. You're right.
For example, we don't have gun stores here and all of these sorts of things. So that's why I'm saying America is more physical. Over here, it's more psychological. But when the English people, and the majority of the English people that will stand up first will be white privileged people. These are the higher class and middle class people, highly educated. They know law and they know how to fuck with the system. So a lot of these people will stand up first and they'll be like, "Fuck this! We're not having this shit. Let's go against the government." And then everyone else kind of jumps up and follows suit, and they'll be like, "Okay, yeah, we're doing it." So if you look at the people who are leading all of these marches that you're seeing, with the large numbers, it's like middle class, upper class white people who
wow,
just
that's
had enough.
Encouraging.
They've had enough, and they're like, "Fuck this."
Yeah, David Icke's coming on August 3rd. I'm interested in talking to him about the same thing, and you know, energetically, like my interest, you know, like with you and with him in regard to England is energetically, where the people at? Like, I wonder, you know, because just think about it. It would just take a small minority of conscious people to affect the entire energetic grid anywhere, any place, anytime, right?
And they would need a small amount of money, and that's the truth. If those minds had money to grease the engine, then they can get some serious work done, and that's the truth. It wouldn't take a lot of people, but they would need money for resources to get some things done. David Icke, he's been David Icke, he's been out here for a long time, and I think it was in the early 90s or the early 80s when he was interviewed on a show with a host called Terry Wogan.
Yeah, that was 1992. 1992.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so Terry Wogan interviewed him, and
I remember.
After that interview, David Icke was ridiculed for years and years and years and years on end. It's only now, literally now, that David Icke is standing in his power. So last year, you could see some of the footage with him standing, and there's thousands of people. He was feeling like the man. His dick must have been real hard, and that's the truth. But
we had him on. I think it was January 13th, and that's one of the things that he talked about. He said, because he actually took us through the level of ridicule that he went through. His children, his partner, and then he was saying that even then, back then in the 90s, he would go to America and like tour. He'd be in somebody's living room with 6 people till 6 o'clock in the morning. That was his presentation. But one of the things that he did say, one of the things he did say was he said that now when he walks down the street, a lot of people come up to him and they thank him. You know, like you're right. He's getting a lot of validation, which is a good sign. Yeah, it's a good sign.
That's a beautiful sign.
I first one of David Icke's I first picked up one of David Icke's books, The Biggest Secret, when I was about 12 years old.
Wow.
And yeah, I was about 12 years old, and he was talking about the Luciferians and the Satanists and the Illuminati, and he was talking about the reptilians and everything else, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. So I was having all of
Yeah.
those kind of
12 years old.
realities, and yeah, I may have been a little bit younger than 12, but yeah, so that's what I
Well,
was taking on,
your
that
team
kind of
obviously
information.
guiding you in the flashback. There's a lag. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, but that's where we are right now in England. But again, just not to take away from why we're here right now and what we're building on. That's why
Yeah.
it's so important to do what we're doing. Even with the show, we're tackling major aspects of spirituality, growth, ascension, self-development, self-realization, self-acceptance. All of these sorts of things that are needed in people's lives when they're stepping in higher states of, understanding and realization. So we're just trying to help this ascension process along nicely.
Right on. That's what we're here for.
That's what we're here
Serve.
for.
Here to serve, but not as a wounded healer, as an empowered.
That's it.
Yeah.
Shadow worker.
Yeah.
Shadow eaters. My wife's a shadow eater.
Shadow eater.
Shadow eater.
Shadow eater.
I like that one. I do like that. So how are things in America right now? This is what I would like to know, because be real with you, I was waiting for Donnie to come and handle business.
Oh,
Kick some ass.
As far as that goes,
Go ahead.
I was thinking about, I was asking Spirit, because I knew that Donald Trump was going to do some things, and I was asking Spirit, why did it have to happen this way? Spirit said they would have never believed him if he would have just came out and told them what the truth was.
What are we talking?
So in the United States, the white hats have control of the media right now.
The white hats?
People don't realize that.
The white hats have control of the media.
Yeah, they're red pilling people slowly. Because when I watch the mainstream media, some of the things that they are saying on the mainstream media are just so ridiculous that if you're using your noodle just a little bit, you'll see the fuckery.
So what you're saying is that people are being red pilled because of the ridiculous distortion of the headlines.
Yes.
And they're going, what the hell? Yeah, I don't know, and it doesn't really matter if white hats are. I don't trust any of them.
Me
I don't believe the Q thing.
Same.
I don't believe the white hats. I don't believe any of it.
Same.
It's a narrative. And how high do you want to go?
Right.
You want to talk about fourth dimensional forces that have manipulated us? You want to go to a higher dimensions? You want to go to we're sovereign souls on any timeline or dimension. But because I see it again too, and I'm not saying that there's not truth in all things, but it's still a distraction.
It is.
It's not a fear-based program. It's a savior-based program, and we've already been through one of those. Thank you, Jesus, and I mean that is my cosmic father. But
I think what it does, it triggers people to start to really pay attention to what's going on. Yeah. Because if you don't see what's happening and you're ignoring it, and like more and more people are paying attention, that I'm noticing more and more. People are popping up with their own individual YouTube channels, broadcast, independent news channels, speaking up about the shit. Like, I don't get tied up into the politics anymore, but when I'm allowed to see that, when Spirit brings it to my view, because I'm focusing on the spiritual work, that I'm seeing people actually paying attention to what's going on. People who would have run to get the vaccine are saying, wait a minute, this isn't making any sense, because now the government is telling people they're going to start knocking on people's doors to get the vaccine.
It's obvious what's happening. But see, now this is what I asked on the last show. Okay, we know, I'm not a believer. I mean, I think that the energy of marching and protesting and boycotting is what's important, the intention. But I saw a comment on one of the shows we did last night, because we were talking about Australia, where they've really started to crack down again. And then a lady said that she goes to the protest, but you got to be careful because Antifa or double agents are working the crowd. So it's once it gets out there, it's too convoluted, and it's a matter of who told you what. But what I was putting on the table was, what do we do? Like, we've had to deal with our own shit. We've had to, grow up. We've had to become transformers because that's our natural nature. What do we do in terms of this external bullshit? Do we just continue to work on ourselves and be a tuning fork that raises the collective, or do we actually go out there and start to be spiritual, like coming from a place of spiritual activism, or a little bit of both? I don't know.
I would say a little bit of both.
I feel like
I'm
has
not
their
gonna
position.
shut the fuck up for anybody.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Everyone has their position to play at the end of the day. You've got those who are not really classed as anti-vaxxers. I don't call myself anti-vaxxer, but I will tell people about vaccines at the end of the day, and I'll tell them not to take them. But I'm not going to call myself an anti-vaxxer. Are you with me? So even these people that call themselves truthers, like I've been talking about what these people have been doing for a long time. I don't class myself as a truther. So I don't pigeonhole myself in any one box at the end of the day.
Right.
Everyone has a position to play. Everyone has their strengths and their weaknesses. So naturally, if people determine what their own strengths and weaknesses are, then they will fall in line and they'll play their position. Right. What we're doing now, you're playing your position, I'm playing mine, Shalom's playing hers. So that's all people need to continue doing. And I feel like with this whole Corona, COVID, what it's done is it's forced people to start researching. And researching and their findings is connecting them to health. And the health aspect of their findings is leading them to spirituality. So as far as Donald Trump has done, whether I couldn't care less if he's on the good side or bad side. I'm more about what has been done and the results of what has done, what he has actually done and the outcome. So him making certain statements and forcing people to go online and start researching, like, what the hell did this guy just say? Is he crazy? And then people have gone online and they've done research. So that aspect of what he represents, I'm all for
catalyst.
that. As far as politics, it is a catalyst.
He's exactly what the world needed.
He's a trigger man.
He's exactly what the world needed. Somebody to come in, bombastic, arrogant, and just upset the apple cart. But this is what's happened to all of us.
Yeah, that's necessary.
Because you're right, Kaya. I mean, think about the energetic impact of a vast majority of the world being forced into isolation and having to sit with their own bullshit.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that their transformation was stupendous last year. We had somebody come on here and they channeled, I can't remember exactly, but what they were told was more people woke up in 2020 than the previous 10 years combined. And I think a big part of that was, regardless, and this is how the universal God works, right? Even if there's an ill intention with what's been thrown out as an overlay, it can be transformed, and there's a thread of magic there somewhere, which I think is happening.
That's right.
Like the Bible has a scripture that says everything that was meant for evil, God has intended it to work out for our good, for our highest best. So as we know, everything is energy. Every ill-intended energy, right? No matter how big it looks to us on the outside, think of it as a David and a Goliath. David only had 3 smooth stones, and he had to kill a giant with just 3 smooth stones and a slingshot. What looked big on the outside was taken down with one shot, with one stone, because David had to know within himself that this is just an illusion, right? This isn't real. What goes up must come down. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. So with the whole COVID situation, they use it against humanity to try to continue to enslave us, but it's continued to backfire. To whomever created the virus and unleashed the virus, that agenda then backfired on them.
Yeah.
Because energy is always returned to its source.
That's right. And this time period has been written about, channeled, downloaded for thousands of years.
It was
so this is the great unveiling. This is the great unveiling. Everybody's going to be buck naked.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's just the way it is, man. It's like get over ourselves, right? Just accept it. I'm a god in the flesh. You're a goddess in the flesh. You're a god in the flesh. I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited. Bring it on. Rip the band-aids off. Rip the fucking band-aids off.
Right? Ain't no more blue pills left. It's only red. We only got red.
Hey, we'll have to do this again sometime. Sorry I had to delay the last one, but
for sure.
So you guys, I mean, Balls Deep, I believe it's off of Kaya's page, isn't it? Isn't it off Kaya's page?
Both pages.
Balls
we
Deep?
bounced it off both.
But I mean, what page do you
originate? Both pages.
Oh, you bounced it off both pages. Okay. Yeah, Balls Deep.
Yeah, both pages.
It's a similar to this program, SoulSpeaks 5D. It's very spontaneous, very raw, and a lot of good topics, and there's a nice energy on your show because you guys laugh and joke and and you're serious, but I mean we got to bring it all to the table, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we do. But away from all of that, actually a Reiki master teacher, and I do the mentoring work and oracle tarot card readings. So we just bring everything together. Shalom's a healer too, so we bring it all, and then we got the talent, we got the music, we got the singing, the rapping, spoken word.
You do.
And I just dropped my single this week.
Well, let's go ahead. Let's do a little spoken word.
Plug it in, girl. Plug it in.
It's available on all music platforms. Todd, the single is popping.
Well, come on, bust something out. Let's have a little poetry slam. I'm game.
A little bit of my single.
I'm game.
I know I don't know you.
Okay.
Didn't slide through to bother you. Yes, it's out there on all music platforms.
Ooh,
India Airy.
Okay. She teasing them like that. she teasing
India Airy.
I'm excited.
So we get 2 lines.
Where do they find it? On your page?
On Apple iTunes. On
you got the links
on YouTube Music, Amazon Music. Anything music.
Big time. Big time.
So it's out there.
Well, it's Saturday. Wait, what is today? Today's not
Thursday.
It's Thursday.
I'm about to roll up on a spiff and go lay down here in a minute. Jesus.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah. Hey, I appreciate you guys. I love you. Let's do it again. Let's do it again this year.
You too. Much love, brother.
No doubt.
Y'all keep going. Keep putting it out there.
Say the word, we will align. It will happen.